Science has shaped our world in incredible ways, curing diseases, launching rockets, and unlocking the secrets of the universe. But sometimes experiments push boundaries too far. When ambition meets recklessness, the results can be terrifying, tragic, or just plain bizarre. From psychological torment to government cover-ups. These aren't just failed experiments, they're cautionary tales that feel like horror stories brought to life. These are the top 10 real-life experiments that went horribly wrong. 10. The Stanford Prison Experiment. In 1971, psychologist Philip Zimbardo set out to study the effects of perceived power by turning college students into guards and prisoners in a mock prison. But what started as a simulation quickly spiraled into psychological torture. The guards began abusing their power, and the prisoners showed signs of severe emotional distress. The experiment, meant to last 2 weeks, was shut down after just 6 days. It revealed how quickly ordinary people can lose their moral compass in the wrong environment. 9. Project MKUltra. One of the most disturbing CIA programs in US history. MKUltra aimed to develop mind control techniques during the Cold War. Without consent, subjects were dosed with LSD and subjected to hypnosis, sensory deprivation, and even torture. Many victims were left with lifelong psychological damage. The worst part? Much of what happened remains classified. It's a chilling reminder of what governments are capable of in the name of control. 8. The Monster Study. In 1939, researchers wanted to understand stuttering. But instead of observing natural cases, they created it. At an Iowa orphanage, children were divided into 2 groups. One received positive speech therapy. The other? Constant criticism, even when their speech was normal. Several children who'd never stuttered before developed severe speech issues and carried them into adulthood. The study earned its name for good reason. 7. The Milgram Experiment. In 1961, Stanley Milgram asked volunteers to deliver electric shocks to others when they answered questions incorrectly. Unbeknownst to the volunteers, the shocked individuals were actors. But the real horror? Most participants kept delivering shocks, even when they believed they were inflicting serious harm, just because they were told to. The experiment proved how easily people obey authority, even when it goes against their conscience. 6. Unit 731. This Japanese military unit conducted unspeakable experiments during World War II, vivisections without anesthesia, frostbite tests, and biological weapon trials on prisoners. Thousands died in agony, and after the war, many of the researchers were granted immunity in exchange for their data. The legacy of the infamous Unit 731 is definitely a horrifying reminder of science used as a weapon. 5. The Russian sleep experiment, urban legend. While there's no verified evidence this actually happened, the story has captured millions because of how horrifyingly plausible it sounds. According to the tale, Soviet researchers in the 1940s kept subjects awake for 15 days using an experimental gas. The results? Madness, self-mutilation, and total psychological collapse. While likely fictional, the story reflects very real fears about sleep deprivation, unethical science, and what humans become when pushed beyond their limits. 4. The Tuskegee Syphilis Study. Between 1932 and 1972, the U.S. Public Health Service studied the effects of untreated syphilis by not treating it. Hundreds of black men were told they were receiving free medical care, but were instead left to suffer and die, even after penicillin became a known cure. The experiment only ended when a whistleblower exposed it to the press. It's one of the darkest examples of medical racism in history. 3. The Aversion Project. In apartheid-era South Africa, the military tried to cure homosexuality among conscripts. This wasn't therapy, it was torture. Victims were subjected to chemical castration, forced hormone treatments, and even sex reassignment surgeries without consent. Over 900 people were experimented on. Most of them never spoke out. The program remained hidden for decades and shows how science can be twisted to serve hate. 2. The lobotomy craze. In the mid-20th century, doctors believed they could treat mental illness by severing parts of the brain. The result? Over 40,000 people in the US were lobotomized, many without full consent. One of the most infamous cases was Rosemary Kennedy, sister of President John F. Kennedy, who was left with the mental capacity of a toddler after the procedure. Lobotomies were seen as progress until society realized the irreversible damage being done in the name of help. 1. The TGN-WRF-12 drug trial. In 2006, 6 healthy volunteers took part in a clinical drug trial in London. Within hours, they were fighting for their lives, racked with pain, organ failure, and violent swelling. Their immune systems had gone haywire. The drug, meant to treat leukemia and rheumatoid arthritis, had passed animal testing, but in humans it was a disaster. This incident changed medical testing forever, raising tough questions about safety, ethics, and human risk in modern medicine. These experiments weren't just failures. They were catastrophes that changed lives, and in some cases ended them. They remind us that science, when stripped of ethics, can become more terrifying than fiction. If you found this video interesting, make sure to subscribe for more dark, mysterious, and true stories from history and beyond. And let us know in the comments, which of these experiments shocked you the most? Thanks for watching, and stay curious, but careful.